Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. So the last 3 weeks, we've been covering kind of our theme for the week for our 10-week challenge. And we'll kind of do a quick recap in the next segment before we get into our week 4 theme, which is courage. Mm-hmm. Which one of is it the lion that needs courage in Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I was thinking of that.
I don't know either.
But before we get in there, so a few months ago, we had a guest on, John Kelly.
Well, courage applies to this very well, which is why I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, so we're going to he went out to do the Appalachian Trail in 40 days. And so Nicole's going to talk about that.
He was trying to beat the speed record.
All right, Nicole, this is your segment. You have you've saved up a lot of words from last segment, so you get going.
Sure. Well, I mean,
I need to catch my breath too.
We both followed along with his trail or his journey. And Harrison, you were here, right, when we had John Kelly on, the Barkley Marathon guy, and then he was just getting ready to start his speed record.
You know, the guy's a maniac in the best way possible. But.
Yeah. Yep. So the goal was to do 2,197 miles. The full Appalachian Trail, I think, was in 40 days, was the record or whatever. Well, he actually had to drop out 300 miles short of it because of injury.
So he did not make it.
Yep. So he didn't do it. He didn't finish it. In fact, he just kind of cut his losses at that time because, of course, he has other goals in his life. And so it wasn't worth it to him to like sacrifice everything in his future just to even finish something when he knew he wasn't going to reach his goal, which is courageous, which is an important part of having courage. First of all, to even try something that not very many people have ever done, especially the speed part of it.
Right.
Because as part of that, like just to kind of give people an idea of what that looked like, he averaged 56.4 miles a day on the Appalachian Trail, while at times climbing 14,000 feet or more. So he basically, like, if you think about there's a lot of 1,400 foot mountains.
14,000.
14,000. Yeah. 14,000 foot mountains, and like Colorado, people do like the 14ers or whatever. He was doing that basically every day, like going out and climbing 14,000 feet every single day. And I mean, he was so dialed in and used a lot of data because he's like a data scientist in his real life. And so those are amazing statistics. 56.4 miles a day, climbing sometimes over 14,000 feet. But the part that I just read is 94% of the time he was in zone 1 for his heart rate. So he had his watch set to alert him if he ever went above 145 beats per minute, over 145 beats per minute. And 94% of the time he was under 145.
I get up in the zone 1 after 1 minute of running.
Yeah. No, you below past zone 1. You're in like zone 5. So that's incredible. Like
that's a lot of altitude too.
Yes.
Because you guys have done a 14er, haven't you?
Well, no.
No, we wanted to 2 years ago, and there's just too much snow on the
joke. We did it. There was a lot of snow when I did it, and obviously we couldn't run it, but just like walking it and trying to breathe. Like I can't imagine 50 plus miles
from around there. Like, so he kind of grew up in the area, so he probably has a little bit of a benefit to that
for sure. It's still crazy impressive.
And it was hot. It was hot. It was a lot hotter than like he had expected and stuff. And so I'm reading like one of the articles that was done about him, and he said day 8, like you're looking at 40 days, and he said on day 8 he found himself in what he called the largest mental hole I've ever been in. Like it was just really hard. And he said this one is a good one about courage, because he said at that point, especially 8 days in, and it was so hard, that it was 50% physical, 50% mental. He said, no matter how strong you are, it's going to hurt and you're going to want to quit. And I remember seeing his first couple weeks, and his just the little things that I'd seen and him being on the show, his like attitude is always very positive. And he was down. Like you could tell he was beat down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's only been 6-7 days.
Yeah.
But he kept going. And then he was also, this is also a part of his success, is that he also tied this to something that was really important to him. So he created a why. He was trying to raise money for the rebuilding efforts from Hurricane Helene. And he was able to raise over $60,000 for that. So I think that was where it helped him shift his mindset to, well, I'm not going to be able to finish my goal. I'm not going to be able to reach my goal, but it's still not a failure in his eyes, which is a big part of it, because a lot of times we really, really do get stuck on that. But
how many miles did he end up running?
Well, the goal was, what did I say? The goal was 2,197 and he came up 300 miles short. So whatever.
He still ran like what, 2,600 miles?
Yeah, right. Like
hard to call that a failure.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
That's an insane amount of mileage.
Yeah. It was he was out there for 35 days. Like but he had injured himself pretty like before that. It's not like he had one that day.
Right.
Where he's like,
progressively it got worse without rest.
Yeah.
Because you're putting 50 plus miles on your legs.
Yeah. Yep. And he said he underestimated like the importance of sleep at the beginning. And he even talked about it when he was on our show, that like his body will just shut down when it needs sleep. Like he will just wake up on the floor of the forest on race like ultras when he doesn't get his sleep in. But I think he some of it was just like, the timing of it, which is why it's important. And we talk about this with our 10-weekers, why the timing is so important of when you start something. Like maybe, you're going to train for a marathon, for example, and that you have like 5 or 6 things going on in your life between the time you sign up for the marathon and when the marathon is. Well, maybe the timing wasn't right for that. So maybe that's not the time that you sign up for a marathon. You use that time to do something else, which he was very well prepared. That had nothing to do with it. But he did say, the last part of this article says the courage to fail, which is important, because he says, his quote is, "Don't be afraid of failing. Even if you don't reach your goal, you accomplish so much along the way." A lot of people don't have the courage to fail. Failing is a part of life. Like we fail all the time at stuff. It's okay. That's not a reason. We all do.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
What was that quote that when we were listening to his last blog he said to his kids, like, I'm putting you on the spot.
I know. Why? I think I might have put that in my notes.
See, that's what I thought, that you wrote it down.
I know. Yeah.
So I know I'm putting you on the spot.
I know.
Well, while she's looking that up, we do have some guy.
Oh,
named Mark Onweiler says, "Hey, y'all."
Oh, some guy. Okay.
I think I know that.
At the text line, we actually have him saved as some guy, Mark Onweiler, which I didn't know, which is hilarious. But
hey, y'all.
Sounds about right.
Shout out to Onweiler from back in the day. Your very first producer.
Of course. Yes.
Well, we appreciate him listening.
Did he text something in, or
he said, "Hey, y'all"? Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought there was more.
No. He just said,
I mean, Harrison, do you want us to tell the story?
I thought there was more to that.
Do you want us to tell the story of the first day you were supposed to produce our show, and we got to the studio, and it was, I know that the entire state of Nebraska was in meltdown mode because we had just lost the Northwestern.
They were pretty panicked
the day before, and then we had to come in and do a radio show the next morning, and we were sitting in the car because our producer was supposed to be there because Mark had passed it off.
The torch.
He used us as much as he could, and then he passed it off to you. And
Mark got a 6-pack, and he's like, "I'm done with these guys now."
He didn't have a 6-pack yet. He was still working on it.
So we're sitting in the car in the parking lot, and then we hear, "Now the Fitness Fanatics with Jeff and Nicole Essink," and then it was silent.
Dead air.
Nothing happened. But you've come a long way since then.
Yep.
I mean, it's 3 years ago.
I wonder what I think the receipts, I should see if I still have them over the break. We're like, not even kidding. Like, oh, I'm supposed to take over this weekend.
That's what I said. Yeah. Everybody, the whole state was depressed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everybody was in on it except for me.
We were
that's on me. I'll take that
everything.
One. Yeah. I can't find it. I'll look for it after break. I can't remember where I saved it. But
why don't we go to break?
Yeah. But I just wanted to give everyone an update, and like that was courageous of him to even try it. It was took a lot of courage to document it in real time along the way, knowing that like it had to be best case scenario from start to finish to even accomplish this goal. Mm-hmm. And then he was great about like not finishing, and he actually just posted a really interesting post. He's Random Forest Runner on Instagram and Facebook, but he said just 2 days ago he posted, if the devil had popped up on a rock on the Appalachian Trail and said, tell you what, I'll patch up your legs so you can finish strong, but then you'll never be able to race again, I would have probably stopped to think about it, but that didn't happen, and hopefully I would have said no. And so that was just kind of interesting, like reflection that he did about and then he said nearly, and this is how I'll finish because this is everything that he's like accomplished. He said, nearly everything big that I have done has taken me more than one try to get right. He's qualified for Boston. It took him 3 times. He's qualified for Kona, the big Ironman triathlon, the huge one, like the big one. He tried twice. He did Barkley 3 times before he completed all 5 loops of that one. And then the rest of them are like ultra marathons that we talked about on the show, Grand Round, Pennine Way, and Rain Whites. It took him 2 tries to be able to finish those. Even from a professional level, he's built businesses. 1 failed before he had a successful one. So like there's nothing in that list that he was like, yep, I tried it. I wanted to do it. I did it, and checked it off his list. He failed, and he came back and did it again, and then sometimes did it a 3rd time before he could get it. So I thought that was very interesting. That he good reflection, interesting reflection on a failure.
But you guys say it all the time too. Jeff, how was your first time at Farrell's? Did you make it all the way through?
Well, I did, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm mixing it up, Nicole.
I didn't.
Yeah, there we go.
I didn't.
But see, we can relate to people because Nicole,
which was like 21 years ago. It was a long
she
time
started the 10-week challenge and quit. Okay. Mm-hmm. I did the 10-week challenge, had amazing results, then stopped doing it, thinking I could do it on my own.
Right.
And I gained all my weight back plus an extra 10 pounds.
Yes, that's
so
your
I was
story.
Humbled. So anybody that comes through our doors, and sometimes we forget, like, because it drives me crazy when people quit. I'm just like, what? But I mean, but we've been there,
and sometimes
and we've quit
there's
things.
Like, you understand it. There's reasons you understand, but then there's also the times that are frustrating where it's just like, you just didn't come into it with the right mindset. You weren't taking it seriously enough from the beginning. You didn't put down the roots to make you, help you hang in there when it gets tough. Like, there's a lot of reflection, and I just wonder how many people who don't finish really take the time to reflect on that.
Really, anything. You start a 60-day plan, a 30-day plan, and you get 2 weeks in, you're just like, well, I'm done. Yeah. So, all right. Well, with that, let's go to break. We'll be right back. 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to the Fitness Fanatics. So Nicole found the quote we were talking about before we went to break. So Nicole, please read that quote that we thought was so awesome.
It doesn't have to do with courage necessarily, but along the way on his journey, John Kelly's for the Appalachian Trail, like he'd do videos and he'd talk about different things. And this one, he was talking about his family, and he went through and he talked about each of his children, and he talked about like their strengths and stuff like that. And the quote was, because he was talking about what his kids are into and stuff. And this is what it was a cool parenting tip.
Here we go. Cool parenting tip.
Yeah. He said, it's not my goal to assign my children a passion. It is to show them the value in having one. which I think is very cool. Like he's talked about he has one kid that's kind of into running. The rest of them aren't. Like he doesn't expect his kids to follow his passions, but he wants to show them the importance of having one, which I thought was a really cool goal. Because a lot of times parents tend to do that. Like I'm honestly surprised that you didn't.
Well, remember when Katie was like, I was trying to force her to hit we got that little basketball hoop, and I was like,
right,
get it in here. She just didn't care.
I know. I think it was just also timing of like you were not home a lot, so I think that was part of it too. Like you were in sales, and so you just didn't have as much time to exert your influence on our children. But because a lot of times we do that as parents,
we do.
This is what we did. We want our kids to do it, and maybe that's not what they want, but then a lot of times it is what they want, and that's okay too. But it's also like knowing yourself, and you can put this, it doesn't have to be about your children, but it's like, be inspired. Like I'm inspired by John Kelly. Does that make me want to do ultra trail runs? Does that make me want to try to beat the speed record on the Appalachian Trail? No, but you can still watch that and be inspired and apply it to like your own goals and passions.
Does it make us even want to run? No, it doesn't.
You probably wanted to run when he was on the show. You're very, susceptible to that, but
yeah.
You were probably wanting to get back in. Every time we have someone that runs, you're always like, okay, that's it. Getting back into running.
I never do. You know why?
That's not true.
Because in the moment, I'm motivated.
Yes.
But we all know that motivation doesn't last.
True.
So then after he's off, and I'm like, oh, I'm very inspired. Or when we have any of our runners,
I'm going to start running, and then the time comes, which is a callback to, was it last week's episode? 2 weeks ago, when we recorded it, was that last week's?
No, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, when we were doing the road race.
When I hurt your feelings because I said you're a bad training partner.
Yeah.
That's to my point right there, what you just said. So
yeah, but that's just for me personally.
I know. That's what I mean. For you personally.
I'm a bad training partner for me personally.
Yes, that was my point.
I can't train myself, but I can help train others.
Yes, that was my point.
Well, you didn't say that was your point.
Well, I was too busy managing your emotions.
This is all over again. I had to edit that episode.
Yeah.
Just like,
well, what did you think? Did it seem like I was being too mean?
No, you guys just seemed like you've been married for a while.
27 years.
It was one of those things where you're listening to both, and it's like, neither of you guys are just married. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You guys are just talking right over each other.
We were.
It's all right though. That's good. That's
communication when you get older. My parents will tell you the same.
Yeah.
It's just
okay. Well, good.
That's what the listeners like. Is to be, because they like people like when they like listening to other married couples bicker, because then you're like, ooh, it's not us.
Yeah. Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, listen to these two. They sound like fools.
I don't know.
Then you're
how
like,
true
well,
it
that's
is.
what we sound like.
I sounded
we
like
argue.
a fool, but
so with that, we're gonna go to break. We'll be back hour number 2. We'll be talking about courage. So stay with us. 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics. All right, welcome back to the Fitness Fanatics. It is hour number 2, and hour number 2 is sponsored by Modern Woodmen of America. Founded in 1883, Modern Woodmen offers financial services and member benefits to individuals and families throughout the U.S. For more information, please call Sean Erickson at 402-483-6515. Modern Woodmen of America, touching lives, securing futures. I want to give a big shout out to Sean. He's celebrating 17 years with Modern Woodmen. He was pretty excited about that. Started there when he was just right out of college, and he's still there 17 years later.
That's really cool.
He's probably wondering where the time went.
Yep.
So thanks for them for sponsoring part of the show. We appreciate their support and for all they do for the show, and also taking care of some of Nicole and I's needs that we have. So appreciate them. All right. So we're going to be talking about courage for week 4, but first we want to recap kind of the first 3 weeks. If you've missed any part of those. So week 1 of our 10-week challenge was goals. Week 2 was discipline. Week 3 was integrity. They all everything kind of ties together. Anything you wanted to touch on those 3 before we move on to
no
courage?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We had whole shows about it. So,
well, yeah. So if you missed any part of those, you can always go back and check us out on our podcast pages, any podcast platforms you want. If you have any questions during the next hour, you can feel free to text us on the Starter Heyman text line at 402-464-5685. And we'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. So, Nicole, why don't you start us off here for courage, and let's take it.
Well, one of the quotes that I really like is that I don't know what you think about courage, what it takes to be courageous or to have courage, but it's not just about being fearless. It's about doing things when fear is present, like doing it, being scared, but doing it anyway, I think is the biggest part of courage.
I think that goes to everything, like getting in your car and driving.
Well, that's true.
Right?
There's so many things that you can just like kind of spiral about that could keep you from doing anything. So yeah, like being scared, doing it anyway is courageous. Or like being challenged. It doesn't even have to be fear. But yeah, like something challenging you and doing it anyway, it builds courage, which is really important. To have that courage to trust the process, especially week 4, because in our program, week 5, we do a check-in and you do your weight and you do your in-body measurements. And week 4, it takes a lot of courage to be like, I'm still trusting this process. I don't know, and week 5 is looming and there's fear that's probably starting, or not even fear, doubt creeping in.
Could be some doubt. Yep.
And then just kind of showing up anyway. And that takes courage. I forgot to look up the actual definition of courage.
Well, it's a good thing that I did.
Oh, okay.
Because I have her right here. The definition of courage is the ability to do something that frightens one. So you talk about courage.
What else is there though? There's more than that, right? Like,
no, that's just all I have.
I mean, that makes sense though. That's right on par with what you were saying.
Yeah. I just feel like it's about more than just fear, but okay, go ahead. Keep talking. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say like, it's courageous to even sign up to do ferals.
Did you not see the bullet point underneath it that says strength in the face of pain or grief? Like,
well, I didn't know that was another definition.
Well,
yeah. Strength. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But the other one is in bold letters. So I figure that's,
the other one's in bold too, but it's bold.
And I'll tell you, the last time I looked in a dictionary, like, I don't even know if I know how to read a dictionary.
I think you could.
Like, the way you read that,
I don't know.
Concerns me how you read articles. So it sounds like you just read the headline. It's in bold. All this other font that's not bolded. I don't know.
What else does it say?
Well, I didn't know. I just it's a noun.
Just the headlines.
Just the bolded.
Literally. That's why I was asking, because I'm like, usually it has more than one thing, and Jeff's like, nope, that's it. And then the actual because I'm sure we're looking at the same thing, said a quote. She called on all of her courage to face the ordeal, and then there's a bullet point. Another definition: strength in the face of grief, pain, or grief. Which, okay, anyway, just an insight into Jeff's.
Well, like I said, the last time I looked at a dictionary, I was probably a junior in high school.
All right, I don't want to get off course. That's
very courageous of you.
See, look, I was courageous to look up the definition, and I already had it, and then I failed. It's the fear of failure.
But it won't stop you from trying and possibly failing again.
No, that's right.
What is the most courageous thing you guys think you've done in your life so far?
Okay, so
I know that's on the spot.
No, that's a great question.
I will tell you the most courageous things that we have done was moving to Nebraska.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that is from Iowa to Nebraska.
We went from our little cushy lives in Altoona. We had a gym that was the top gym in the Des Moines market by leaps and bounds. We had the most members, most 10-week challenger. I mean, we the most everything. And
it was one location. We were both running one location.
Yep. One location. We were basically I felt like I was retired. I got to sleep in.
I think you're romanticizing it a little bit.
No,
but
I'm not. I'm not. It was, we were comfortable. I
think it was a bigger change for you because I was already the morning person. So when you say I was sleeping in every day, I mean, relatively speaking, sleeping in. It's not like you were sleeping till 9 a.m. every day.
Well, I basically didn't have to go to work till 3:30.
Right. Yes.
And then Nicole was done at 10:30. for the rest of the day. Like, so we were like part-time.
Yeah.
We didn't work like now we work 40, 50 hours at the gyms where before we'd work 20.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't really.
That did take courage.
But to pack up, move our kids. Our daughter was a freshman in high school. She'd went to the same school her whole life. To move away from, our easy, cushy, one single gym owner out to a place where nobody knew us. I mean, it was very
2
courageous.
locations.
So that's an easy one for me.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
2 locations. Instructors are like, who are these people? What's going on? We're changing owners again.
They're from Iowa. Are they Iowa
from
fans?
Iowa.
Did you try to hide that part for a while, or just come right out in front that you're from Iowa but Nebraska fan?
I think that was the first thing I talked about in our meeting with the instructors is like, we're Husker fans.
Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. We're not.
I can't imagine how much more courage that would have taken.
Right.
To not be. Or how much courage it would take now to go back.
If you guys were Hawkeye fans, they just wouldn't have had the courage to begin with.
No,
So. Well,
that's true.
So, I mean, that's
I
for
think
you,
that's true.
obviously.
Yeah. I mean, just in our whole, that was kind of always our plan. Owning Farrell's was like from the beginning, we kind of had thought we were going to be moving at some point. Like the first time we talked to Lance a long time ago was about coming to Lincoln before there were any locations. And then we were going to move to Washington State, and that didn't work out. And then
Washington State, huh?
I had a buddy, one of my buddies that actually did the 10-week challenge with me in 2006, lives up there. And we were going to go into business together and start. And it just didn't work out.
It just didn't work out timing wise. And
we got denied a loan.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's
a tough start. Right.
We tried to get
that was
SBA
the timing.
loan,
Right.
Just denied.
We weren't willing to make ridiculous sacrifices to make it happen. It had to make sense.
Right.
It didn't make sense.
Taking a loan out that's got like 30% interest isn't necessarily courageous. That might just be stupid.
No,
right.
Yes. So the courage to no, that's the perfect example. Because man, that was a bummer.
We were bummed big time.
When we kind of just decided no, it's just not going to happen. That took courage to try and say, it's not worth it we could have done other things, but it wasn't worth it. So we decided nope, it's just not the right time. So we waited until it was the right time.
I think second most courageous thing I've ever done was to go to Kinnick Stadium last year.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I was hoping it had something to do with your family or something, but
just football.
Nope. Going to Kinnick Stadium. That was very courageous to sit with people that I just that was very courageous.
That is.
It was. And I survived.
You should get a Purple Heart for that.
I should.
Yeah.
And we should have a Husker Heart for all Husker fans who go to Kinnick Stadium and come back alive. Get a Husker Heart.
Really, just go to any road environment.
Yeah, Hawkeyes has got to be the word. I mean,
it was horrifying.
It's crazy because I'll give it to him, right? They go from one of the coolest traditions where they wave to the kids and they're like, oh, this is kind of, and then as soon as it's over, it's like, you guys are, they just all sorts of absurdities. It's like, oh, change the temperature.
They went
real
from
quick.
Waving to the middle finger to me. Yeah. That's kind of what it went like.
It's culture. I'll give them that much. That's compartmentalization at its best.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Harrison? What's the most courageous thing you've done in your 25? Are you 25 or 26?
26
That's
now.
what I thought. Yeah.
That's a good question.
I know that's hard. At 26, gosh, I don't know what I would have said. Getting married.
So far right now, I'd say just trusting this job, working for free as an intern for a year and just part-time and then leaving. I could have gone with the blue what's it called? Blue collar route maintenance. Make good money, get to be part of the LLC, get to pocket more, but I don't think I'd be as happy. I think that would drive me kind of nuts doing that. If I was still doing drywall and paint, I think I'd be pretty, I don't want to say miserable, but I feel like I'd be missing something. So I'd say just sticking with this job for as long as I have been, because and this isn't just me, anybody who wants to do this, just for anybody who's listening, you're not going to join a job like this and just get paid handsomely. You're going to have to probably work another job. And if you're in school, you're probably going to have 2 jobs and school. Unless you're smarter than me or an athlete, then congratulations. Maybe you have some scholarships to help out. But
right.
It's a grind. So I'd say that's just biggest, courageous thing so far is just sticking it to this job.
Well, and that's really important too. And a lot of people use courage in their jobs. Even us just being gym owners is the most courageous thing. Like, we've both worked corporate jobs. We both worked at John Deere Financial. I started at John Deere when I was 18. I don't have a college degree. And by the time I had left, when our son was born, had worked my way up through the company, and I was in a position. I was 2 positions above where you needed a degree to get into that position. But because I had worked, into that position, I was definitely beyond where I could have just applied and gotten in. So I think that was, your career. Yes. If it's something that you really enjoy doing, you're going to make some of those sacrifices like you did. And then that's kind of looking back and reflecting on the sacrifices that you made, but to be enjoying what you're doing is really important. And that was with us being gym owners. Like, it's not an easy job. It
was pretty courageous.
But I can't imagine doing anything else.
Pretty courageous when you left that job to be a stay-at-home parent.
I didn't know. If I had known it was going to be that hard to be a stay-at-home mom, I don't know if I would have. That was what I was doing at John Deere was cushy compared to being a stay-at-home mom. But yes, that one was a good big one too, I guess.
What's the hardest part about being a stay-at-home mom? Is it the meals?
No, the hardest part about being a stay-at-home mom is losing your identity, like feeling like you can't, like you're not a productive member of society.
Like house arrest almost?
Right. Like you're a productive member of your family. Like you're the center of your family, but you especially someone who did have a job outside of the house and worked my way up. There's no working your way up as a stay-at-home mom. Like there's no promotions. There's no, like
maybe flowers.
Yeah.
From your husband when he's back from work is the best things you'll get as.
So you kind of lose your identity as like a person outside of being a mom. That was the hardest part. Like it was hard. Jeff was in a family business, and prior to being a stay-at-home mom, I felt like I could be part of the conversation and I could contribute to the conversation because I also worked in the corporate world and then once you're a stay-at-home mom, and this was me, it wasn't how I was being treated, but once you're a stay-at-home mom for 6 months, you're just like, you kind of feel out of touch with everything else, and you just don't feel like you can contribute to be like maybe giving ideas and suggestions and stuff like that. So that was the hardest.
That makes sense. I was just thinking about all the chores with like my guy brain, the mental state.
Well, I think everybody thinks that until you're in it, and then you're like,
I haven't seen my friends in 6 months.
Right. Something. That's why I started Farrell's, so I could work out with my friends. That's 100% why I started Farrell's.
Okay, let's go back to a couple questions I have for you, Nicole. What does courage look like in class? Great. What does courage look like in class to you?
That's really hard for us to answer because we've been doing it for so long. You know what I mean? But I think a big part of it is, especially with our program, because it's hard. Like our classes are hard. And so I think it's just showing up. Like, they always talk about the heaviest weight in a gym is the front door.
To go in.
Yeah. Opening the front door is like the hardest part.
That's a good one. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah. Look it up. There's like a better quote for it. I'm paraphrasing, but it's 100% true. So I think just showing up day after day, showing up when you're sore, showing up when you just, you don't know what to expect. What are we going to do today? I'm already sore. So I think that's the big thing. Another part of it is courage to modify when you need to, because that keeps so many people from their goals. Like you have an injury, and it's not an injury that you have to like stop completely, but there are certain things you probably shouldn't be doing, and our pride gets in the way, and people don't want to modify because they think that's failing when it's actually the very opposite. So I think that's probably the biggest part about courage on the mat is like in those moments deciding like, am I wanting to modify this because I don't want to do it? Or am I modifying because it's really the smartest thing to do?
That's probably the tough one.
Yeah, it is.
Courage and pride seem like synonyms.
But they're antonyms, honestly.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. You think about it more, though. It's like you have to challenge your pride with your courage. It's a
100%.
weird. I can see how a lot of guys, in particular, just
just
hurt
everybody.
themselves. Yeah, everybody for that hurt themselves more.
Yes, that's a good point. So I wish I would have brought that up first, because I think that's my final answer. Is on the mat, the courage to like know when to push yourself and know when to like modify when you need to.
Well, or example I have is overcoming that fear of failure, which when I taught a class last week, we were doing drop set of lateral raises, and I was like, okay, everybody start with red.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you've done ferals and you've done a lateral raise on your shoulders, you're like, what?
Right. Yeah.
This person's asking me to do what? And everybody grabbed red, and everybody got through it. And you could just see like the confidence that got through, because if I wouldn't have pushed them to do it,
right,
they would have never grabbed a red band in the first place.
That doesn't mean that they're going to use a red band every time they do a lateral raise for the next, 7 weeks or whatever. But yeah, you have to have that. That's trusting courage to trust the process too. Like, because I'll make people use red too when we do drop set lateral raises, because it's 8 reps or 12, depending on the drop set. So you can do it. The goal is to fail. Right.
So that fear of failure changes. We do have fear of failing, because like you said, now we're getting into week 4, whether you're doing ferals or not. Hopefully you've been doing something over the last 3 weeks with us. Because, I think now is kind of when people start to see changes. Week 4, week 5.
Seeing changes on and off, in and outside of the gym. But I've noticed a lot of changes in people with just their form and their strength and their confidence to like try something, even if they're not sure if they can do it, like strength training, which I think drop sets really do help kind of push that process. So with drop sets, we do, depending on the count, 12 reps, then 16, 24. The goal is to start really heavy for the 12 reps. If you fail, you go lighter for 16 and then the lightest for 24. And so we're really are challenging them to try a band color that they thought, and they've only been doing it for 3 weeks. Like 2 weeks prior, we were like, use a yellow band for this. And now we're telling them to use red. So that takes courage to trust the process.
Trust and I tell them, I was told too, I'm like, I'm not going to ask you to do something I don't think you can do. Like, I'm not like, hey, grab a purple one.
Yeah.
Let's bust these out, And no, so it's just kind of cool to see the people in class like do that and fight through it. And like, I could just see on their faces like, wow, I can't believe I just did that. So that's kind of a cool little aha moment for that. So let's go ahead and take a break now, and then we'll get into we'll keep this conversation going here when we come back. 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.
Looking for. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to the Fitness Fanatics. So we've been talking about courage and how it pertains to health, wellness, fitness, and other aspects of your life. So this segment, Nicole, we're going to discuss the 4 types of courage.
Well, we're not the 4, but just 4.
There's more types. We'll just do 4 types.
But I just found an article about it with the 4 types.
Let's do it.
Of courage. So the first one is physical courage. Like, that was basically what we've been talking about, like the physical courage of like being nervous or scared or apprehensive to do something and doing it anyway. We basically talked about that. But the second one I thought was really interesting and applies really well to fitness is social courage.
Okay.
Which actually applies to a lot of the stuff that we talked about, like if you're introverted or extroverted. So if you're an introvert, social courage, you know what social courage is like.
What?
If you're introverted, you're extroverted. So you probably don't know what social courage is. You can't imagine. What do you think social courage is?
Just like putting yourself out there.
Right. Yes.
You have a very hard time with that one.
I know Jeff does.
Well, I mean, sometimes if I'm not in my element, like there's certain things if I would go to that I probably wouldn't be comfortable at.
Yeah,
you know.
maybe.
No,
It would
don't
be
know.
uncomfortable, like a banquet, like a fancy
Yeah,
suit and
kind
tie
of.
banquet. Is that,
Yeah.
Somewhere that someone's not also wearing a Husker hat that
Yeah,
you
that's
could
what I'm
zone
trying to
in
think
on
of.
them and become best friends immediately.
Well, or if like people start talking about like stocks and like financial, like
Yeah.
I'd be uncomfortable. Like I don't know.
That's true. I don't think
True.
I've ever seen. Now I'm like thinking it. I've only seen you wear ferals and Husker gear, nothing else.
Yeah.
You showed up in a suit and tie. I wouldn't know who you are. I don't
I
think.
could find some pictures of Jeff.
Well, that's
No beard, suit and tie. It would blow your mind.
No beard, Jeff.
No beard, Jeff.
that's because we have a job where I can wear a hat all the time
I
and
know.
barrel stuff. You know.
But social courage is important. Social courage when it comes to fitness is extremely important because whether you're doing group fitness or you're just going to a gym, that social courage of like being perceived is really important. And it reminds me of what we talk about a lot that our instructor Brandy said one time and I think this is true for the most part at any fitness gym that you go to. Like everybody cares and no one cares at the same time. Like everyone at Farrell's cares and is invested in your success, but nobody cares if you mess up. Like nobody cares if you in the warm up. Well, I mean, we might give you a hard time jokingly, but
Mhm.
if you do 3 kicks instead of 1 in the warm up and you get off beat, like nobody cares about that. But that does take social courage. And that is, I mean, we've seen that with people that have really struggled with that. I remember because I don't have a college degree, but I was going to college before Ben was born. And we had a class where we had to do a presentation and there was a woman up there doing a presentation and it was like, she was so uncomfortable that it just made like, you just felt for her. Like, and we'd all been in the same room together for all quarter, whatever, talk to her. She was part of conversations. It's not like she was coming into a group of people she didn't know, but when she had to stand in front of the group and make a presentation, it was like a totally different person. And it was like, really, you could tell it took a lot of social courage for her to do that. And it was really hard. And so we see that a lot in the gym.
Well, and you know me, I'm very uncomfortable in disagreements and like
You're
confrontations.
very non-confrontational.
That's surprising.
Well,
Because considering how you
it's
talk
sports.
around. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Unless it's sports. I was like
like I struggle if I have to talk to somebody, a member, like a parent or something where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is going to cause some stress,
Yeah.
and it stems from,
His dad was very confrontational.
yeah, I mean, he just would just,
And
yeah,
you're just not good at arguing. So that's part of it
which
too.
works well for Nicole.
It doesn't work
Like
well
I
for
wouldn't
me.
be a good debater,
actually.
like in debate class. No, I wouldn't be. I'm not very good at debate. Now I could debate like, was the 95 Husker team better than the 2001 Miami team? Like those types of
the
things.
stuff that matters.
I
You
could
can
debate,
Right.
yeah, stuff that matters, but like, yeah, any confrontation, and I just get anxious and I feel sick, and
Mhm.
so yeah, that's
Takes courage.
it takes courage. Like if
Mhm.
a member owes us money, like
Yeah, those
saying, hey,
are uncomfortable.
Mhm.
or we do a price increase,
That takes courage.
telling people their membership's going up. Those are tough. Like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
It
the
is.
apartment places I've lived at got a lot of courage because they just tell me that stuff
Some
easily. Like,
other,
hey,
yeah.
$300 extra.
Think
Going
about
up.
how much courage Netflix has
Yeah.
to just raise your rates. How much courage the Dollar Tree has right now from this year, like last year at this time, everything was literally $1 and now they're raising their prices to $1.75, which I know is not a lot, but percentage wise,
That's a lot.
that's a ton.
Then you have the truly courageous Arnold Palmer.
Right.
Still 99 cents. Not
Yeah.
changing.
I know.
True courage.
So no, that is the important part. Social courage
Yeah.
and fitness is actually something people probably don't think about, or they think about it too much, and I think that's probably what it is. They think about it too much. And
how
it
are people
keeps
going to
them
look
from-
at me? How
Right.
are people
How
going to
many
judge me? Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Times have you talked? One of our former members and friend John, in Iowa, Morrell, and how many times he sat in the parking lot before he even came in to talk to us, like multiple times. So that took a lot of courage, just walking in to learn more about the program, not even like to do a workout.
Judgment's tough.
Yeah.
It's
So
all
that's
hardwired. It's a public speaking thing.
Yeah.
Like we're not meant to, like, anytime we're supposed to be judged. It goes with fitness too. It's like it's in your DNA that it freaks you out a little bit because you do best with the group. And if you're going to be judged in front of the entire group, you're terrified.
Yeah. But in
what the group
reality,
might think.
almost all the time, we're all dealing with our own stuff. Like nobody is really cares that much. Like,
Yeah, we're not running for our food still. We're not going to judge you and kick you out of the group. You're still welcome.
Yeah. The next one talks about, it really goes along with our last week's. I have a little bit of a hiccup in my throat. It goes really well with last week's topic. And it's moral courage, which is integrity, like moral courage to do what's right, even when it's difficult. That's integrity. So moral courage is really important. Being consistent with what you say you're going to do. And I think a lot of times people think morality is like right or wrong, but it's like, it could also be like good and bad, like what's good for you and what's not good for you. So
and then the gray.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So moral courage, that makes a lot of sense. Like takes moral courage to, I think that's more with like nutrition.
Well, especially today, you can cheat with a bunch of medicines.
Yeah.
You need to, like, do I need
That's a great
extreme,
example.
like steroids.
Yeah. That's a great example because there's been a lot of influencers in the last couple of years that did not have moral courage, and they've been hiding behind that. Liver King, great example.
Liver King's one of my favorites.
Right.
What a run.
Like Liver King had no moral courage at all. He's literally telling people like, oh, I just eat meat, blah, blah. And then
would moral courage have to deal with the Biggest Loser? Because it just reminded me that there is a Netflix documentary coming up here in basically about 10 days about the Biggest Loser.
Month. Yeah.
That could be good.
So like behind the scenes type, like, are we making these people do too much? Are we altering? I mean, so I'm excited to watch that, and we can talk about that on the show, and it'll probably tie into some of our topics.
Yeah. It's true because there's a lot that was going on behind the scenes. They're forward facing the great things that are happening, but they're hiding the bad things that are happening. That's moral courage for sure. We've also seen that with influencers now who have been exposed as using weight loss medications, GLP-1s and stuff, which is so ridiculous because like there's one influencer, I don't know her name, on TikTok, but she had like lost a lot of weight. And the thing is, like, she was still really successful, but she had gained like 10 pounds, and it was, for herself, it felt like too much. So she went on a GLP-1 and lost a lot of weight. And it took her a long time to like admit it. And she faced really big backlash. Well, the thing is, if she just would have been honest from the beginning and said, hey guys, I'm going to try this out, she could have folded in a whole new audience of people that are on these weight loss medications. And she could have been the, like, you know what I mean, poster child for it. But she hid it for like 11 months before she finally had to come clean. And that was a lack of moral courage for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I think people want to say they did it all natural. Or I don't know what that is, why you hide that.
Especially with those, like, it gets to a point where people know that, like,
eventually 11 months of it. I just don't know why people hide that ever to begin with.
I don't either, because it's that whole you are not special, mentality of like thinking, and fat phobia, really. It's really boils down to fat phobia. It's like you really are afraid of gaining weight again so much that you're going to lie to people about it, that's the thing that's frustrating about steroids and frustrating about weight loss medication. Like, not that and there are a lot of bodybuilders that do use steroids and they're open about it.
Yeah, they're trying to do the roided Olympics.
Yeah, and I have so much more respect for those people. I'm so much more interested in what they have to say, not because it's something I ever want to do, but it's just like a glimpse into a world that I will never be a part of, instead of like lying to people about it. So I think moral courage is something that we see a lot in the fitness industry, good and bad examples.
Well, if you're in fitness too, it'll ruin your business. So
once it gets out,
Liver King.
I know.
Like,
now
great
you're,
example.
I mean, he was already kind of a joke, but now he's like even more of a joke.
Pretty well sold.
And
Yeah.
where I'm happy, with our business and Farrell's, it's been, the same nutrition program for 22 years.
Mhm.
Has not changed.
Nope.
At all.
Nope.
Like
same thing really with our program in general.
Mhm.
Like we have definitely lasted through the trends of fitness and nutrition for sure. It's the same basic principle: strength
Yep.
training, cardio, balanced nutrition.
And we've lasted through gyms starting, gyms closing.
Right. Yeah. Fitness trends coming and going, nutrition trends coming and going. And then the last one, which this is a good segue, is emotional courage. And emotional courage and nutrition, I think, are hugely tied together because we have so much emotion tied to food that sometimes it can take courage to like maybe face it. Mark is a great example. Mark Onweiler is a great example. Like he definitely had a really big lack of emotional courage when he was in the height of his weight gain, where he would talk about stopping at Little Caesars and eating a pizza on his own in the car and then go home and eat dinner.
Yep.
Like he had such shame around it, but then it also created this cycle that he just couldn't break and couldn't get out of. And I think a lot of times you have to reflect a little bit on that emotional tie that you maybe have with food and how that is serving you and how it's detrimental to you too. So I think that that's the biggest one, is that emotional courage and it tying to nutrition and like rethinking what food means to you.
Yeah, like we talked to our members, like now we're eating, we want you to eat with like a sense of purpose that you're fueling your body, not just eating for entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Jeff, talk about that. It's fall.
I know. Right?
This is like my biggest problem come fall is like, oh, the mountain's a little tastier. Come Sunday.
Right.
The Mountain Dew.
No.
Of course, lights.
Always Mountain Dew, but he's talking about beer.
Yeah.
Well, sports.
And then, you get the dips, you get the cheese.
So here's the thing.
Here's
the thing. What I would recommend coming up for during football season is if you can go Monday through Friday and you're eating clean and you're hitting your macros, it's okay it's okay.
Within reason on Sunday.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Don't go buy a 12-pack and knock it out
in 1 hour
on Saturday and then go Sunday and get another one. Like that. But the thing is, if you're going multiple days and weeks without it, then it does make it a little bit easier to maybe rein it in. I don't know.
You won't need a ton of alcohol if you're not drinking.
See, I'm the opposite. And that's the other thing is knowing yourself, because like the summer for me is harder for nutrition because I hate summer. Like I hate how hot it is. I hate cooking when it's hot. I hate cooking and knowing I'm going to make the house even hotter and like the air conditioner already can't keep up. So like I don't even want to turn on the air fryer because it's going to make the house even hotter and the air conditioner can't keep up. So like for me, fall and winter, like that's the best time to be in the kitchen cooking, but I can cook healthy food.
And too, like
comfort food.
Think about the summer. Your kids are home from school. You're
you have
let's
so
go
many
out
things
for
in
lunch.
the house.
Now you're having to
Snacks.
buy. You're buying chips and like stuff for them to eat, mac and cheese, and it's like the quick things for them for lunch, frozen pizzas. Like, but when they're in school, you don't have to buy all that stuff because you're not worried about what are they going to eat for lunch. Right. So I think it's a lot easier during fall and winter for sure. I mean, and for me
that's the
too.
point is knowing that about yourself.
Yeah.
And being like, okay, I know this time is coming up. It's going to be hard for me. Got to rely on my physical, moral, and emotional courage to get through, not cracking open those beers or just don't buy them. I don't know.
Just don't.
I know. So easy.
You're right. I will be sober from here on out.
To say.
I will declare sobriety.
No.
Anytime I watch football.
You don't have to do that. But you also don't have to be a lab rat either,
This stretch always is tough because it's like football and then Christmas I got a sugar tooth, and then like the Christmas cookies, that's the real downfall come December. And
I know.
But think about
rib on Christmas Day.
Think about it.
One.
December is still, we got September,
Yeah.
October. It's still 4 months from now,
And you're
right?
already throwing in the towel.
And
This is the tough stretch right here.
You're already just.
It's gonna take a lot of courage, Jeff. That's all I'm saying.
You're already just like most people.
Yep.
Let's wait till January.
Right. I might as well.
It's August. There's
Yeah.
no way I could eat healthy over football season and Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween.
It's hoodies. How about, I'll just wear sweatpants, hoodies every day from here on out.
That
No one
is
will
the-
know.
You can get healthy over these periods if you allow yourself to. Hey, yeah, I can have, in our program, you get one free day a week that you could do whatever you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if you have, you can plan like, yeah, we got football on, Thursday night, Saturday.
Right. That's
Saturday,
where it gets
Monday.
in trouble. Yes.
And then Monday night football,
Friday
and
night.
then Thursday night football again. And
Mhm.
But you don't have to eat bad during a football game, right? So I was just playing like, figure what your free day is going to be. And as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do for 5 or 6 days out of the week, that's great. As long as you're eating healthy 80% of the time, it's going to be all right.
yeah, and if
That's
you're
true.
doing 80% of the time, that craving on the 20%
Right.
of the time won't be that strong
Yeah.
because
And
you're
you-
used to a healthier diet.
And you can have
100%.
unhealthy foods. It's just moderation.
For sure.
Just a quick note, Nicole and I will not be in studio next week. We are going to our second attempt to go ride our bikes. The plan is to do 100 miles. We'll see you in a couple weeks. We got commitment next week. 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.